The kingdom, our kingdom, is a kingdom of power. The problem today, are you aware that the current kind of sinners is a product of the current kind of preachers? We are in a generation that is very atheistic in nature. We are in a generation that is logical in nature. They argue the conception, immaculate conception. They argue the Trinity logically. They argue prayer logically. Why? Because this generation of preachers have become talkers, no power, eloquence, power of diction, oratory of public speaking. They are interested in accents and pronunciations. It's now a product of talk. When you see people preach, when you want to see their deep, they must use high words, celestial dimension of trafficking in realms. In Exodus 4 verse 10, Moses said, I am not eloquent. And God said, who told you that this assignment is about talk? Who told you this assignment is about English and grammar? There are people that have become more poetic than Socrates, more poetic than Archimedes and Pluto. They understand English and grammatical conjunction more than Shakespeare. Sir, John 4:48 said, except they see signs and wonders, not talk. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 4, my preaching and my speech was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but with demonstration of the Spirit. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 4, he said, was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but with demonstration of the Spirit and power. Why? Verse 5, that your faith will not rest on the wisdom of man, but on the power of God. We are in the generation of power. In 1 Corinthians 4 verse 20, the kingdom of God is not in word, but in power. Gideon screamed out in Judges 6 verse 13, when the angel appeared to him, he said, where be his miracle? Sir, if you are a young preacher of the gospel, you are a young evangelist, you are a young prophet or prophetess, don't go in the way of speech speculation, don't go in the way of grammatical conjunction, don't go in the way of rhymes and diction, go in the way of power. Moses said, I am not eloquent, in Exodus 4 verse 10, and in Exodus 4:17, God said to him, take this rod in your hand, with this rod do signs and wonders. We are in the generation of power, for the earnest expectation of the creator waited for the manifestation, not the speech speculation. Our kingdom is a kingdom of power. Young preacher of the gospel, young believer, this end time, go for power, go for power. Let me tell somebody, it is in power, not in words.